Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Grandstand Sports Data. In today's video, we're going to show you how to build a record keeper in sports betting. So, this isn't meant to be a bet tracker. We're not tracking your bets. What this is a record keeper. It's meant to track your market's performance. And when we say market, we mean your sport plus your bet type. So, let's get into it. Over here in the first column, you're going to have your date. It's very important for us because what we like to do is dump in about 5 years worth of data or 5 seasons. Once you get into season 6, what we usually do is delete that information because we want to keep it, relatively recent, but while still having a lot of sample size. Next column is going to be the number. All this is here for Grandstand Sports Data is we like to put the number of game. So for Chicago, that's going to be the first row here, Chicago, we would put a 1. Now, if we just want to handicap Chicago, isolate them, we would look into their games. It would be game 1. We would put game 2 here. We usually have this pre-filled out, but it's not very important. But what this does, or for us here, we like to do it so that we can track them in the beginning of the year, how they looked in the middle of the year, maybe even at the end of the year, all types of. You can do any time sequence, and that helps us do that. Next will be important. It's going to be location, right? Home, away, those things are measurable by itself. Also neutral, neutral site games. Like I said, this is going to be the NHL record keeper that we have just for the season. Now remember, this record keeper is going to be meant for money lines. So any money line sport. This isn't just for hockey. We're showing you our hockey demo, but you can use this for any sport that you bet money lines on. And this column is going to be probably the most important. This is going to be the odds. We have American odds here. That's what we use. These are also the odds when you handicap the game. So say if it's 5 in the morning, you're logging in the odds that were available to you. Now, I will put it as an asterisk. You should be putting the best odds for sports books that you have an account with, because obviously if you can't buy it at that number, there's no point in putting that number. You have to put the odds for your, for your sports books. Next will be the team measurements. You get team and opponent. You want to do both sides of it because it's going to lead on to our next point, which is checking off the edges. So those were your basics. I would say these are your basics for every sport. And now we're just moving on to the factors. We're talking about technical factors, fundamental factors. These are going to help check the edge for that specific team. So as you can see, this middle one right here, Grandstand Sports Data's model, the edge was with Florida in that matchup. So it was checked underneath the team of Florida, not the opponent of Florida. That means that the edge, if it was put up here, would be for Chicago. So just remember that. And you would do that throughout all of the factors that you measure. Now remember, this is hockey, so they're really sports specific to hockey. If you're doing water polo, Major League Baseball, the World Cup, going to be different factors, right? So we have back-to-back matchups. We have 3 games in 4 nights. We have just total rest differential. And then we have our 4 models that we measure. We have a coaching model, a player quality model, a matchup index, and then obviously our model. Uh, just for back-to-back purposes, just to show you, Las Vegas would have the edge in this matchup against LA because LA played on the 8th. They also played on the 7th, as you can see. Back-to-back, Las Vegas gets the edge. So that's just doing it simply. Now, one of the most important columns here is closing line value. I don't care what sport you bet in, okay? But closing line value is non-negotiable, and you need it for every single sport. Now, another thing that you will see is a check mark. You will say, why can't we just put the odds? Why can't we just put a value? You can. I don't because I got 3 kids, I have a wife, I have a regular full-time job. I'm not able to break it down even further, you know, to every single digit, to every single number, every decimal point. I just can't do that, right? I just simply want to get my answers and get the hell out of here. So I put check marks. You can put values. I'm not telling you can't. But remember, closing line value, it's going to be very, very important. I will show you the equations here. So this would be how many times out of those games that you got closing line value. And this would be the percentage for that. So if you want to see those equations up in the top, you can pause the video at any moment. That's how you can build this. Now moving on to score. Obviously, you input the score. Chicago lost 2-3 in this game. Obviously, the flip side of that, if you were Florida, it's 3-2. Now, the margin of victory, it's not really important here because we're doing money lines, but it's just simplifying who won, who lost. So the margin of victory would be better for spreads. We will show you a spreads one later on. Maybe I would say at the end of the summer. And then, yeah, we'll show you one and then probably at the end of the summer in terms of spreads, totals, all that good stuff. Now, the results here, as you can see from the equations, based on the money line results. So if you bet $1 on this game, and the reason why we do $1 increments is because it's an easy multiplier for people who bet $25, $50. They can easily multiply the results by that number that they bet. So, for instance, if you bet Florida, you can see you made 35 cents on every $1. That's just the decimal point, the decimal range of the actual amount. But when we break it down, I will show you. Now, the column next to that is basically the same thing. So, it really didn't need to be here, but when you build out different record keepers, you'll have multiple columns. We just left it here, but we didn't have to. So just know that these two columns are duplicates. So let's just break down the matchup real fast. Go to October 7th. That's what's so good about these record keepers is that you filter the results. So October 7th, we want to look at Chicago and Florida. 3-2 matchup, right? Obviously, we already talked about that. But let's say if you want to just look at the your model and how its results have been, you just filter it. Boom. So Grandstand Sports Data's coaching model, just for this matchup, went 1-0 and made 35 cents off of that $1 bet, and it had closing line value of 100%. So you can imagine it's pretty good, right? For that one game. So but you could see just from that one game and us showing you that, imagine if this 5 years worth of data. Now it gives you good long-term results up here in our dashboard. And we'll just go here and show you the equations that go into this dashboard in case you're building this yourself. You see the wins. Here are the losses. Win percentage, pretty self-evident. You can see from that equation. You probably learned that in 3rd grade. Profit and loss. Now remember, this is tallying up the whole table. Just remember that. So every time you filter it, numbers will change, and then rates of return. So there are your probably most important equations in terms of us just showing you that. Now, if you guys kind of want to see how you put it all together, we can show you a good way to put it all together. Let's say you want to measure home teams, right? Home teams. And their opponents coming off a back-to-back. So they have an edge in back-to-back. And then you also want to measure your model. Here it'd be Grandstand Sports Data Model. So as you can see from the results, it changed, right? 68 and 40. So throughout those games, 108 games, we went 68 and 40 for that specific system. So remember, home teams where their opponents off of back-to-back, and they also favored in terms of Grandstand Sports Data's Grandstand Sports Data's model. So those three, 68 and 40, 63% win rate, and it was up basically 37 cents for every $1 bet. Remember, the measurements are based on $1. Now, it's easy for you to multiply. I know we mentioned this earlier. If you bet $25, you just multiply it by 25, 50, yada, yada, on and on, so forth. Most important thing, though, 54.6 in terms of closing line value. Anything over 50% you want to pay attention to. So now we know, just from this system here, home teams, opponents coming off a back-to-back, and favored in Grandstand Sports Data's model, we would look at that going into next season. And we have a system already built in that we know that we can pay attention to and get ready to hit that bet button when we go through our record keeper next year. So this basically builds systems on its own. This is why it's so valuable, right? Now, if you're getting value from this, hit the like button. Let us know that you enjoy this type of material, these type of videos, and we can, keep making more. I would say that our next video, in terms of showing you our models, showing you what's behind the scenes, we would do a bet tracker. So if you guys want to see a bet tracker, hit the like button. It will show us that you want to see that. If you do enjoy these type of videos, also you enjoy record keeping or these type of walkthrough videos, just make sure to subscribe to Grandstand Sports Data. We're gonna try to continue to make more of these. Like I said, I got 3 kids, a wife, a full-time job. It's hard to continuously make these videos, edit them, all that good stuff. But we'll try. We'll do our best that if you want them, you want to see them, we'll get into them. We'll do a little bit more of them. Some of you guys may say, this all looks good. It all looks gravy. I kind of want this, but I don't want to build this, right? Looks too much. It's just too much for me. Well, we will give the option to buy this if you want. We have a blank template. We're going to sell this blank template here down in our product store. So you can check that out. If you don't want to build it at all and you just want to purchase it from us, you will see that in our product store. A little bit of a disclosure though, if you mess up any of the equations or any of the formulas or whatever you're trying to do, you have to remember that we are not Excel experts. We're not. Our channel is built off of sports betting. So that's what you have to remember. If you have any sports betting problems, we can answer those questions. In terms of Excel questions, you may have to go to a different channel. I know that sounds insensitive to some people, but I'm sorry. We're just not Excel professionals. We're just not. Uh, like we said, comment down below if you want to see that bet tracker. So that would be more towards your betting results. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.